All right, y'all. John chapter 6, verse 44. John 6 and 44. Now you just feel like that because you're doing something that you ain't never did before. That usually happens when you make a transition like you about to make. You about to leave something that you've always known to go to the unknown. But you have to know that if it's according to God's will and you called according to His purpose, it'll work out for your good. If you don't believe that it'll work out for your good, that just means you don't believe God. I know stuff be scary. I'll tell you something, man. Lord do a lot of stuff, man. Put you in a lot of positions to cause you to mature and you to grow. A lot of times the reason why we don't mature and grow is because we fight it. Because it's much easier and much comfortable to stay in that state of immaturity because of security. You know, the Lord done put me in a lot of situations my entire life which caused me to have to grow. And I ain't talking about just, oh, you had to grow up fast or nothing like that. Just grow, period. Like me going to the penitentiary taught me where I had to humble myself under these people's authority, which would make it easier for me to humble myself under His authority, because I hate the police. When I was young, I would cut the police out in a heartbeat, show these people no manner of respect, and have a pocket full of rocks and be dead wrong. I'm talking about talking to these people like they were less than human. No, for no other reason, because you were the police. I wasn't even selling drugs yet, and I talked to them people like that. Because I felt like, man, you hate my people, you'll kill me dead any chance you get. Show you respect for what? You know what I'm talking about? Y'all hear me? See, I don't know if none of y'all ever felt like this, but that's how I felt. That's how I felt. I ain't care nothing about cussing them people out. I ain't showing you no respect. Screw you. You know what I'm talking about? I remember when I was going to prison, and one of the CEOs, because you know when they counter, they quick to be like this here, old coochie cracker. That's what they love to call him. But that CEO told Buddy, he said ain't no coochie cracker in here. Because they know they going to beat you to death in there. Yeah. Ain't none of that in there. John 6 and 44. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets, and they shall all be taught of God. Every man therefore that have heard and have learned of the Father, come unto me. So if you done heard of y'all, you would come to the Son. We just looked at it Wednesday night, didn't we? Now I want y'all to come over here, and I want you to look at Genesis chapter 3, and I want you to look at about verse 16. We gonna get straight into it. Ain't got no time to even play no game. I'm gonna show y'all something. And this don't just apply to the women singularly either. So please don't think they're just singling out the women. This go for each and every last one of y'all. Y'all hear me? I want y'all to know now. Don't sit back and think this just to the women. Because this ain't just to the women. Even though it's talking about women in this verse, it's not just to the women. It really ain't. Y'all give me a second. We're trying to get the camera lined up in a good close place. Because it applies to all of us as a people. Genesis 3 and 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. That's why I told you women, if your desire is not to please your husband, just know that you are a sinner. If you married and your desire is not to please your husband, just know that you are committing sin. If you want to be married, and you have no desire to please a man, and you feel like it's not necessary for you to know that man to even know how to please him, just know that you condemning yourself to hell. It's better for you to stay single. Because your husband is over you. That's the law. The law says your desire is going to be to him. Who got a problem with that? But see, I'm going to show y'all something though. Let's look at Hosea chapter 2. Hosea chapter 2. Matter of fact, I don't even want Hosea chapter 2. Not right now. Deuteronomy the 29th chapter. Let's go ahead and look at this law. Deuteronomy the 29th chapter. Because see, y'all got to understand something. See, you women, you do know when you get married, you actually become that man's. See, he made you to be a helpmeet. That means you made to assist him. Well, I mean, you not with him, Chantel. That's a lot different. You're separated. You're divorced from this man. You're not with him. It's different. I'm talking about the women who married. They with their husband. They live in there with him, or they want to be married, but yet they have no desire to please this man. Make it Deuteronomy 27. How could you sit back and say you want to be a virtuous woman, a woman of God, and you have no desire to please your husband? How is that possible? Do you know what type of mind you got to have? Use a Jezebel. You are a selfish, manipulative woman seeking to get her own gain and her own selfish reward. Because you can't be one of Sarah's daughters. Because Sarah's whole objective was to please Abraham. She called Abraham Lord. Her desire was to Abraham. But you want to be one of Sarah's daughters, though. Deuteronomy 27:1. And Moses with the elders commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And it shall be on the day when you shall pass over Jordan unto the land which Yahweh thy God give thee, thou shalt set up these great stones and plaster them with plaster. And thou shalt write upon them all the words of this law. And when thou art passed over, that thou may go into the land which Yahweh thy God give thee, a land that flow with milk and honey, as Yahweh God of thy fathers hath promised thee. Therefore it shall be when you gone over Jordan, that ye shall set up these stones which I command you this day in Mount Ebal, and thou shalt plaster them with plaster, and thou shalt build an altar unto Yah thy God, an altar of stones. Thou shalt not lift up any iron tool upon them. Thou shalt build the altar of Yah thy God of whole stones, and thou shalt offer burnt offerings thereon unto Yah thy God. Thou shalt offer peace offerings, and shalt eat there, and rejoice before Yah thy God. And thou shalt write upon the stones all the words of this law very plainly. Very plainly. Now, who would these stones that they would plaster with plaster, who would they be? That would be the apostles. Now, you notice he said they wouldn't lift up an iron tool. Don't even put no tool on this altar that you offer these burnt offerings on. Because what's getting ready to go down here in this Deuteronomy 27 is that the covenant is about to be confirmed. Y'all understand that? See, he's sitting there, he's avouching them, he's causing them to swear, or avouching, he's telling them to take a vow. So you know what this will actually be? Y'all know what he actually having them do? Huh? He's having them take vows for marriage. He is having these people take a vow for marriage. He is having these people take a vow for marriage. And when we turn around and we sit back and we seen that he built those stones with the apostles. They didn't lift up no iron tool on Yahshua. Well, you know he was the burnt offering because he was in the furnace of affliction. And he said, write upon the stones all the words of this law very plainly. Read verse 9 though. And Moses and the priests, the Levites, spake unto all Israel, saying, take heed and hearken, O Israel. This day thou art become the people of Yah thy God. Thou shalt therefore obey the voice of Yah thy God, and do his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. This man had just let these people know, I'm making you his wife today. Now, what you think that means when he say write the law on these stones very plainly? This take us back to something we done dealt with before. Remember when we sat back and we looked at how they engraved the names of the tribes on them 2 stones? And then they had to present them? Remember the law was written with the finger of God. Now he telling them to write the words of this stone very plainly. Well, let's look back and see how this man wrote upon the stones all the word of this law very plainly in John, the 16th chapter. John chapter 16, verse 22. "23 is better. And that day you shall ask me nothing. Truly, truly, I say unto you, whatsoever you shall ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. Hitherto have you asked nothing in my name. Ask, and you shall receive, that your joy may be full. These things have I spoken unto you in proverbs, but the time come when I shall no more speak unto you in proverbs, but I shall show you plainly of the Father. At that day you shall ask in my name, and I say not unto you that I will pray the Father for you. For the Father himself loved you, because you have loved me, and have believed that I came out from God. I came forth from the Father, and come into the world again. I leave the world, and go to the Father. His disciples said unto him, Lo, now speak thou plainly, and speak no proverb. Now we are sure that thou know all things, and need not that any man should ask thee. By this we believe that thou come forth from God. And Yahshua answered them, Do you now believe? He said he just sat back and he said, he just showed them the words of this law plainly. You know he was the law made flesh. He said previously, I had been speaking to you in proverbs, but now I make it plain. And when else did he make the word plain to these men? When he made the law plain to them. Y'all should know this. Not Matthew 24. You think about Luke 24. I know what you think about. You just said the wrong book. You all right? What you were saying, Pale? Because I heard you. He made it plain. Took them 12 stones and wrote the law on them and made it plain. He was made a burnt offering. No tool had touched him. He made it plain. And when he did that day, he was able to us to become his people again now, wasn't he? When that man did that on that day and made it plain, we were able to become the people of God again, which means we were able to be remarried to our husband. Y'all already know that we done went through this before, how we were able to be remarried to our husband. But I want you to come over here to Exodus 24. So now you entering into an agreement with this man, it would cause that you would need to know your husband, that you might know how to please him. Exodus 24. Exodus 24 and 1. And Moses, as he said unto Moses, come up unto Yah, thou Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near Yah, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of Yah, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which Yah has said we will do. They just said, I do. Because after that, that's when the blood of the covenant, the blood had been shed to sanctify the covenant. They just said, I do. They just said, I do. Now y'all sitting back saying that you want to come into the covenant of God. That means everything he say to do, you gonna do. So if your desire is to be to your husband, why you not seeking to please God then? I'm telling you something, to tell you something real. There's nowhere in the world, if you married or you seeking to be married and you don't seek to please your husband, that you gonna please God. There's nowhere in the world. Let's see why. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 22. Let's just see why there would be nowhere in the world you could seek to please God, but you don't want to even know to please your husband. Let's see if the book show you use a liar and you committing sin. Any woman that don't want to please her husband is pretty much useless. What purpose do you serve? What type of woman would not want to please the man whom she claims she loves? What type of woman would do the things that would anger the man she claims she loves? Because if you anger a man, you can ruin his whole outlook for the whole day. Just have his man disgusted. The way if you constantly try him and disrespect him, that man don't look at you the way you want him to look at you. He can't do it till the behavior ceases. It's impossible. Any man who hear the sound of my voice that want to speak and tell each and every last one of you women that there's nowhere in the world you're going to get that man to do what you want him to do and you don't want to please him, or you do things that you know will set him off. It's one thing if you don't know it'll set him off. But if you know it'll set him off and you do it anyway, you have a severe mental problem. That don't make no common sense. That don't make no common sense. Why would you do that? But like I told you, see, this world got you women backwards. See, this world done told you it's the man that's supposed to turn around and please you first. And you ain't got to worry about pleasing him. All you got to do is just toot it and boot it and cook a meal and you straight. That's why I was telling y'all about that Wednesday. When a man see that a woman knows him, that's what a man wants. That's what he wants. See, y'all want the reassurance and the validation that he fine. See, a man don't want his old lady to tell him he fine and he handsome. He don't care to hear that. A woman wants to hear her man tell her that she's beautiful and she's attractive. See, we understand that. We know that. See, a woman wants that type of validation about her physical appearance or things that she cooking. Well, a man wants the validation of, do you know me? That if somebody came and said something to you, making an accusation or trying to show you something about me, that you would know my character well enough that you wouldn't even entertain it. And if you stupid enough to entertain it, not only are you just like the nigga who presented it, but that show you don't even know the man you claim you love and who you with. Because you entertained something you know this was not consistent with his character. Oh yeah, we going now. Yeah, we going now. Just give me a minute. He put it in my mind when I was going to the bathroom on that very thing. Oh, we going now. Y'all just bear with me for a minute. Y'all don't realize that that's what a man desires. A woman who knows him. That's what God wants you to do. He wants you to know him. Because when you know him, then you can respect him, then you can love him, then you will be able to serve him, and your desire would be to him. But if you don't know him, how could you love him? How could you respect him? How could your desire be to him when you don't even know what he requires? You don't even know what he dislikes. Some of you niggas will know you got a man, you know that nigga don't like rutabagas, you cook him anyway because you like him. You don't care what, see, you do your kids like that. You put a plate in front of your kids and be like, nigga, you eat it or you eat sleep for dinner. You don't do your husband like that. I know my husband don't like the smell of this incense. I'ma burn it anyway. I know my husband, when he tell me to close my mouth and I keep talking, he don't like that. I'm going to make it my point to continue to speak. I know my husband like his plate arrayed in a particular way. I'm going to make sure that it's nothing like that. I know I've been talking to y'all about that about the last few weeks. And that's mainly for you. Because I'm telling you, men pay attention to their woman. Keynote that I say men. Little boys don't. Men do. Because they want to know what type of woman they dealing with, because this possibly could be the mother of my children. So that's very imperative to them that they know this woman's character. A woman would pay attention to a man because she would know this is the man who's going to provide and protect for me. This is the man who's going to lead me. So they would be sitting back looking at, valuing who he is. Little girls look at, he fine. We could make some pretty babies. You have to change your mentality. Nigga too grown to have a high school mentality. Nigga too grown to be thinking like teenagers. And one thing for certain and two things for sure. I'm going to challenge you and push you to grow up. Some of you niggas don't like it because it make you uncomfortable. It make you face stuff about yourself you don't want to look at. I was talking to my old lady about this last night, and I'll tell every last one of y'all, age has absolutely nothing to do with your level of maturity. Don't use your age as an excuse. You ain't mature because you don't want to. You ain't grown because you don't want to die. I'm telling you, man, you can be a young, immature person and end up to be a 50-year-old immature person. Age is not an excuse for immaturity. Life experiences or how you was raised is not an excuse for immaturity. I say one thing I know that people always say girls mature faster than boys, and truth be told, most boys and most girls are immature at the same time. Girls just think they more mature. You just as dumb because y'all don't realize how simple and dumb y'all are. When I say that, I'm talking about in looking at the world, your world view. Y'all think because y'all don't let this society tell you you're so smart, women this, women that, women this, women that. If you were so smart, you wouldn't have listened to Satan in the garden. If you were so smart, you wouldn't let people drag you the way that you done dragged, and you would have seen that stuff coming before it even happened. See, a lot of women get themselves in situations and circumstances because they allow their emotions to dictate their decision making, how they react. That's what makes y'all simple, because y'all don't sit back and separate the two. Just because y'all are emotional beings don't mean that you have to move by them. Because I've seen women who can separate them. Though they were evil women, they were able to separate them in certain circumstances, and they were so cold. But not cold in a way like I'm making a logical decision, because their separating of their emotions made them have no caring for another individual. It was only let me get them before they get me. When you separate your emotions from your decision making, it should allow you to see things clear, for you to look at things from all angles. Because a lot of times women and some men do it. That's why I tell y'all to be on them boys and don't feminize them and get them around men. I wouldn't care if it was other little boys, whoever. Because if they around women all the time, the likelihood of them being feminine is real high, because they'll pick up on your characteristics. They'll mimic you. Because women won't sit back and they'll look at stuff and they see stuff and their emotions and the stuff in their brain be running wild, and they end up seeing things and crafting things in their brain that weren't even there. That's why when y'all bring that stuff to a man about certain stuff that you think of this and you think of that, that's why they snap. Because nigga, you went way left field. Nigga, what is you talking? How many of you women, y'all can speak on this matter, because I can't see you, because if we was in person I'd tell you to raise your hand. How many of you women done came at a man about something and you just thought you knew something? That nigga looked at you like, nigga, what is you talking about, with a look of just perplexed? Like he genuinely, you can, who just said that? And you know why? Because y'all emotions went to run away somewhere else. And when that man looking at you like, and in his mind, what is this nigga talking about? I have no idea. Where did this even come from? They say right before the call, Lord done God. I'm for real though, because y'all minds be going way somewhere else. And you thinking that this man thinking how you thinking, and you crafting this stuff in your brain. Then when you come to this man about this, he has no single solitary idea what you talking about. Where this stuff come from? How many of you women have had a man be like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? Y'all thinking they just saying this stuff for no reason. Nigga like, nigga, what is going on? What is going on? They make a nigga don't want to fool with you no more. Nigga like, man, I got to go. I ain't even talking about like permanently. I got to get away from this nigga. It's crazy. Man, that type of stuff, man, when you in the world, that man nigga just leave, man, I got to go see the weed, man. This nigga here is crazy. Well, when I smoke weed, boy, I really didn't tolerate it. Nigga, you about to blow my high. You better get out my face. I'm talking about, boy, you finna blow my high? Oh, boy. I'm finna snap now. That's why I ain't never lived with no woman. I'm gonna tell you something. Before we read this Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this here, because I've only told it to a couple people. I mean, not a couple people. I just ain't never told it to none of y'all, because the conversation ain't never came up. I just talked to Goldie about this the other day. I've looked at this long before now, so don't think it's just something new that just came up in my mind. I looked at all the women I ever dealt with in my life. Some of them I had a lot of love for. Some of them I thought maybe I could have children from them. There was one woman I dealt with that I thought, like, literally, it's only really actually two women I thought I would reproduce with. That it was plausible that I would do that. Because I was real serious about that. I wasn't reproducing with anybody. You know what I'm talking about? And I dealt with this woman for a long period of time. Off and on, here and there. And the last time I spoke to this woman, last time I seen this woman was October 2001. Last time I spoke to this woman was like January 2002. I get jammed up. January 10th, 2002. The police take my phone, seize it as evidence. This woman has no ways or means to contact me. She don't know I'm incarcerated because she was out of state. She was in the Air Force. She was out of state. Then I sit back and look at it. I get out. I holler at her mama or mama snap. I just leave it alone. Now years and time go by. Nigga don't really sit back there. That's my nigga, but nigga ain't sitting back looking at boy. I sure would wonder what she doing or who she with. Nigga don't think like that. That chapter is closed. But the lessons from that chapter will last a lifetime. You know, sometimes you can sit back and look at the thing that you can learn from somebody. It can last you a lifetime. Whether it be positive or whether it be negative. See, some of y'all done had negative relationships with people and it lasts you a lifetime. That's why you're so jaded and miserable now. Because of how wrong somebody did you. Some people look at how good somebody treated them and they look for what that person did. The next person I be with in that situation, they would have to be able to have that same behavior because I know what it feels like to be respected and valued. See, if you've never been respected and valued as a man or respected and valued as a woman, you wouldn't know what it was when it was standing in front of you. If you've experienced it, you would settle for nothing less, as I told you earlier. So when I sit back and look at it, and I came in the Word, and I used to sit back and think, I say, God separated me from that woman. And there would be no way on this earth where I would ever go back to this woman knowing the Lord separated me from this woman. He knew what he was doing. And I'm going to tell y'all another thing of how he showed forth that he did this. Man, 2013, my sister went to Atlanta to the synagogue, or where she's a member now, for Pentecost. Pentecost always going to fall on a Sunday. At that time, I was training legs on Sunday. So, of course, don't go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym that night. Didn't feel like walking up there. Well, I mean, I couldn't go to the gym that night. It would have had to been Monday night. So, as Monday night come in, then when Nell get back, she got the rental car. She said, well, let's go hit the gym. But instead of going to the one on Merrill where we stayed at, we went to San Jose and Sunbeam, which is in Mandarin. Granted, I had no cell phone at this time, so ain't no Facebook notifications I would get on no phone. Now, this same woman who I'm telling y'all about, her mama husband died, and she was down here. And of all the people that she knew in the city, she inboxed me and said, I want to see you. Now, I don't see this till about maybe 10 Sunday night. I say, well, shoot, man, I'm at the house right now, man. Gave the number, told her, just call me. She said, we're kind of late right now. I ain't going to come out right now. I say, all right, just holler at me. She called me that next day saying, I'm going to come through there to see you. The Lord does not allow that woman to come see me. This woman had my number. I had her number. It never crossed my mind to say, can I call you? Because I know the Lord don't want me messing with this woman. Period. Because if he did, he would have never cut me off from her in the first place. There was another woman I dealt with when I was young. He cut me off from this woman. Cut me off from her in 1999. I didn't see that woman again till 2010. It was another woman who I dealt with before I went to prison. He brought that woman back round. I dealt with her for a little while just to show that this woman hated God. I told you the 4 women I really dealt with, he let me come back round, every last one of them, to show me why I separated you from these women. That's why the book of Ecclesiastes say, he that please, say a woman. Come on, look at Ecclesiastes chapter 7. See, I know what this man was doing. See, I sit back and I look at my life and I look at stuff like that and I look at it and be like, wow, this man saved me from something. Just because you can have love for somebody don't mean you won't. He said, I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets and her hands is bands. Whoso please God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. This man allowed me to escape from all of these women because 99.9% of the time they would have brought me down to destruction. Brought me straight down to destruction. I wouldn't have known it. I wouldn't have seen it. But he cut me off from all of them and then let me get his word and to bring it back to show me. That's why I cut you off from these women. Because like I told y'all, this man let me sit down with all 4 of them and give them the word, and all 4 of them rejected it. You know what I'm talking about? All 4 of them rejected it. All bets is off after that. I wouldn't care how you treated me, how you would have came back and still did the same thing. That means absolutely nothing. And I just seen how the Lord did it, and he did it in succession. He had me sit down with all 4 of them in a matter of 3 weeks. Back to back. Boom, 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 boom. Brought all 4 of them back around at the same time. Hadn't seen some of these women in years. Brought them all back around at the same time to show me, son, this is why I didn't want you messing with them. This is why I separated you from them. And all I could say was, thank the Lord. Ephesians 5 and 22. 5 and 21. No, 5 and 22 is what I want. Y'all don't hear me though. See, I don't think a lot of y'all sit back and look on your life and be like, boy, the Lord spared me for something right now. Saved you from yourself, you ain't even know it. So see, one thing about me is I don't reach back. I can have dealings with you. I can talk to you. I can be cordial. It ain't going no further than that. I ain't reaching back. I don't need no throwback real tape. I know why that man separated me from certain people. I ain't going to go back to where he separated me from. That would be dumb. But I tell you this here. I learned something from all 4 of them women. On how women should or should not conduct themselves. Each one of them. Learn something from all of them. Learn to sit back and see, okay, if I run across a woman and she treat me like this or she act like this, I'm talking about character-wise. Not things that are mutually exclusive to that woman. I could know this is what I want. See, I know what I want. See, a lot of y'all don't know what you want. See, I know what I want. I know how I want to be treated. I know how I want my woman to act. And if she can't get with that, she can go. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husband and unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as the Messiah is the head of the synagogue, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the synagogue is subject unto the Messiah, because women, your desires to your husband, he will rule over you. So let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. So if the body is subject to Yahshua in everything, and he telling you that a marriage is supposed to mirror that, how are you not subject in seeking to please your husband as the body is seeking to please God? How is that possible? Husbands, love your wives even as the Messiah also loved the synagogue and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious synagogue, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that it should be kodesh and without blemish. So men ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He that love his wife love himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished and cherished it, even as the Lord the body. Now, a man sit back, his wife is serving him and doing what she's supposed to do. It's easier for this man to love this woman as she's supposed to be loved. But if she rebellious and stubborn and hard-hearted, it make him evil afflicted to his wife. It wearies his spirit to where I can't deal with you no more. And you know what the Lord did once we wearied him to that point. He got rid of us. So now we see a marriage vow in Exodus 24 and 27 and Deuteronomy 27. So now we need to come back round and we need to look at Numbers chapter 30. I thank the Lord. Numbers 30 and 1. Y'all all right? 30 and 1. I'm telling this for everybody, this men included, because you got to sit back and look at it. If you are part of the body, I'm talking to the men, then you will be his wife. So that means that we're going to look at these things, Lord permit. That means you need to know what you need to know to please your husband. That's why I say this ain't just to the women. Because the women ought to seek to please their husband anyway. And if you say that you in Yahshua and you a member and you in his body, then you will be his wife. You ought to know how to please your husband. Your desire ought to be to your husband. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which Yah hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto Yah, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do all that proceed out of his mouth. If a woman also vow a vow unto Yah, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he hear, not any of her vows or of her bonds where she hath bound her soul shall stand, and Yah shall forgive her, because her father hath disallowed her. If she had at all her husband when she vowed, or uttered all out of her lips where he bound her soul, she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and he held his peace at her the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherein she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallow her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, which she bound her soul, of none effect, and Yah shall forgive her. So now he just said, and that's just to let y'all know something, women. Your husband can tell you you can't do something, you can't do it. It don't matter about nothing, none of that stuff. I want to do it. Don't matter. You could be like, I'm praying all night. Your husband said, no, you're not. You finna boot that. See, I'm going to show you why it's good to come to do this here. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. That's why you got to sit down with your husband and notice out. That's why you ain't got no business seeking after a man don't want to walk after God's word. Because y'all don't realize you got to listen to this man. Your desire is supposed to be to him. If you don't have a heart to please your husband, I don't know really what, you can't be no woman. Ain't no other way to put that. You ain't no woman. A woman that has no desire to please her man is worthless. She's worthless. You serve no purpose. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 4. The wife hath not power over her own body, but the husband. Likewise also the husband hath not power over his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. That's why he told you you need to consent. You need to talk to him. You can't get in your mind and be like, I'm praying and fasting, and don't tell your husband that you don't sit down and y'all try to come to a meeting of the minds on that. Because if that man say you can't do it, you can't do it. Y'all do know that, right? That's what the law just said. Not only a vow, but that means anything come out your mouth. You could be like, I'm running a 5K race. No, you're not. You ain't doing it. I'm just using anything that come to mind. You got to. That man can strike down anything you say. You can't do it. And if that offends you, close the book up. Because you can't bring the mentality and thought process in a marriage that you had from the world or the realms of media where you've seen that and bring that with God. Can't bring that with him. He don't vibe and operate that way. You can't come in, woman, be like, I'm doing. Why you think all these women be going against the word and talk bad? He done this here to women. He just got an order. It's actually showing you the framework of his wife. So you can know to obey your God. But let's look at a woman who's supposed to have a vow not to do something. Genesis chapter 2. Verse 15. I'm telling you this to save your soul. For everybody. Your desire needs to be to your husband. Your desire needs to be to the Lord. You women can't tell me you want to please God and you don't want to please your man. You are a hypocrite. You men can't tell me you want to dwell in the Son and that therefore you can be one with him and you don't want to please your husband. Y'all took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And y'all commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou may freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge and good and evil thou shalt not eat it, for in the day that thou shalt eat it, therefore thou shalt surely die. He been given a move what to do. Genesis chapter 3. So guess what God do? And what God am I talking about? What God I'm talking about? Oh, I'm talking about Adam. Adam made a covenant with his wife and when he told her, woman, be flesh of my flesh, bone of my bones, he entered into a covenant with her. She became his. Y'all should also remember that in Ezekiel 16 when he said, I saw you in your blood and I say, live, and thou becamest mine. I entered into a covenant with thee and thou became mine. You heard what he said? He said his wife became his. Don't you know when you marry a man, you become his. That's why a man got to provide and protect and take care of his wife, because you're his. That's his duty. That's our law. Man's supposed to do that. So if you know, I mean, it wouldn't matter if you're not living how you want to live. That's all well and good. The man doing his part and he moving to get things better, to be able to do more than what he's doing at that time. But if you're doing what a man supposed to do, you're supposed to do what a woman supposed to do. Please your husband. That's why a lot of households are in disarray in this country. Because these women out here feel like they have no need to have to please their man. The only way they think they're supposed to please their man is when they spread their legs open. But guess what? That's a temporary sensation. After a while, what you gonna do when that man get tired of having sex with you? What you gonna do when this man get tired of looking at you? What you gonna have to hold him? Your rotten behavior? Your disrespect? Your lack of desire to please this man in any shape, form, or fashion? What you gonna hold to keep him? A booty ain't gonna keep nobody. What's that woman they always be putting up that man, that woman with that bald head? What her name is? Amber Rose, that's her name. Now look at her. She got a nice figure. She can't keep no man, so obviously her body ain't gonna keep him. Look at Halle Berry. Beautiful. Got lots of money. Can't keep no man. So that ain't gonna keep him. Nigga do backflips by Halle Berry. That's a beautiful woman. Nigga ain't look at, she been married 3-4 times. What is it about her that nigga say, I can't stand this hoe no more? She pretty, she got money, but that ain't enough to make a nigga stay. You have to look at that type of stuff. You look at all these so-called beautiful women that are celebrities, and look how many men get with them and be like, man, leave them hoes alone. I told you, man, Bill Maher said something real. Show me a beautiful woman, I'll show you a man tired of having sex with him. So that's not going to hold him. Y'all women got to ask yourself, what you got that's going to make this man want to be happy to come home to you? Be ready to see you. Don't no man want to see no insolent, loud-mouthed, stubborn, disrespectful woman. That stuff don't do nothing but make it, if it were possible, he could knock all the teeth out your mouth. I'm for real, man. Don't no man want that. I don't think you women would want a man who would just disrespect you continually, call you out your name, disrespect you all the time. How many of you women would enjoy that? But yet y'all do it to men on a regular basis and think they supposed to take it. But yet you wouldn't take it. And if you did, you stupid. Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which Yah had made. And he said unto the woman, Yah, yea, hath God said, you shall not eat a tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, you shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did eat. Y'all know what Eve just did right here? Anybody know what Eve just did right here? That she did. Let's look at Isaiah 28 and you can really see what she did right here. Isaiah 28 and about verse 15. No, she didn't manipulate, so she was pretty much straightforward. Let's see what Eve did right here in Isaiah 28 and 15. Make it 14. Wherefore hear the word of Yah, ye scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death. And with hell are we at agreement. And brethren, who has power over death? Huh? The devil. And who did she just make an agreement with? So she just made a covenant with death. Why? Because you better know it. That's why he called him a murderer. John 8:44. Ye have of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speak a lie, he speak of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So we already just seen in Genesis 3, he birthed lies, and he was a killer. He murked them. But guess what, though? She made an agreement to die. She agreed with it. And you know why? Moved by her emotions. It looked good. It'll make me wise. I sure do like it. Her emotions got her in trouble. Her lusts, her desire. Remember on Wednesday how we were talking about, I wouldn't have known lust except the law said not covet. Remember how we told you sometimes you can go after stuff you want and it could be for your detriment? You see how the Lord turned back around and show you this stuff again? Verse 15 of Isaiah 28th chapter. Because you have said we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood we have hid ourselves. Come on back to Genesis chapter 3. They said they made lies, because that's what she just did. She made lies our refuge, didn't it? Then he say, in lies, we hid ourselves. Under falsehoods, we hid ourselves. And let's just see what they did. In Genesis chapter 3, verse 7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of Yah walking in the garden of the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yah amongst the trees of the gardens. They tried to make themselves, they tried to make lies they refuge, they hiding place. They hid themselves under lies. That's what you niggas do. You make lies your refuge and falsehood your hiding place. You try to hide behind a false image that you done created yourself when God be showing you who you are, but you don't want to deal with it. You want to convince yourself that you're not the person that he's showing you that you are. And he's showing it to you because as many as I love, I chasten and rebuke. Therefore be zealous and repent. But you don't have that same passion to change your ways as you have passion to stay the same. I want you to look at Ezekiel chapter 11. This man, hold on. Come on back to Isaiah 28. Let me finish that. Verse 16. Therefore thus saith Yah, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone. Remember how we looked at it when you've been taught of God, you be established in righteousness? You would be built on the stone. And there go that stone again. When the law was made plain. For a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believes shall not make haste. Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet. Hell shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and water shall overflow the hiding places. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled. Your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then you shall be trodden down by it. From the time that it go forth, it shall take you for morning by morning. It shall pass over day by day. Over by day and by night. And it shall be a vexation only to understand the report. Y'all seen that Tuesday night, how those niggas was vexed because they couldn't understand the report. For whom is the arm of Yah? Who have believed our report, and to whom the arm of Yah is revealed? John chapter 12. He said, I got to disannul your covenant with death. That means I got to cancel it. After we look at it, John chapter 12, we're going to look at Ezekiel chapter 11. That's what y'all not sitting back realizing. Because you were disobedient to your husband and you had no desire to please him, you made a covenant with death. This man had to come back around and break that covenant with death that you had. All because you didn't want to please him. All because your desire wasn't him. You were a pleaser of yourself than a pleaser of God. You don't want to please your husband. He's a no good nigga in my estimation. That's just my humble opinion. But who am I? I'm just a poor nigga from Duval County. I don't know nothing. I barely can read. I don't know nothing about God's word. I don't know nothing. I'm just a dummy. What do I know? John 12 and 34. The people answered him, we heard out of the law that the Messiah abides forever. How say thou the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man? Then Yahshua said unto them, yet a little while is the light with you. Walk ye while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walk in darkness know not whither he go. While you have light, believe in the light, that you may be the children of light. These things spake Yahshua, and departed, and hid himself from them. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. That the saying of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spake, Lord, who have believed our report, and to whom hath the arm of the Lord been revealed. Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah had said again, he had blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. These things said Isaiah when he saw his glory and spake of him. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him, but because of the Pharisees they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue, for they love the praise of men more than the praise of God. That's what some of y'all problem is. You more concerned with how other people view you, so you can get the praise of men, instead of getting the praise of God. I want you to look at something in John chapter 5 that just came to my mind before we proceed. John 5 and 39. Back me up to 34. Hello, Stankers. Make it 31. If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. All right, it just happened. You ain't got to tell me. He said, there's another that bear witness of me, and I know the witness which he witnessed of me is true. No, it just happened. You ain't the only one, Delta. It just happened. There's another that bear witness of me, and I know the witness which he witnessed of me is true. Ye sent unto John, and he bear witness unto the truth. I receive not the testimony from man, but these things I say, that you might be saved. But I receive not testimony from man, but these things I say, that you might be saved. He was a burning and shining light, and you were willing for a season to rejoice in his light. But I have greater witness than that of John. For the works which the Father hath given me to finish, the same works that I do, bear witness of me, that the Father hath sent me. What y'all think that means? Who told you about this? I know it's been a long time since we looked at it, but I want to know who remembers who told you about it. He said, the works that I do, he said, I got greater witness than John. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. Anybody know who told you about that? I'm not mad if you don't remember, because it's been a long time. Don't get caught on the works part. He said, I got another that bear witness of me, who's greater than John. That ain't what I'm looking for. Job 16 and 19. After that, 1 John chapter 5. We come back to John 5, and we come in Ezekiel chapter 11. And we need to look at Proverbs 31. And then we're going to look at Jeremiah chapter 9. And then we're going to look at some other stuff. And after that, we're going to say, praise the Lord. Job 16-19. Also now, behold, my witness is in heaven, and my record is on high. Ain't that what he just told them in John chapter 5 about verse 36? I have greater witness than John, for the works that my Father has given me to finish, the works that I do, they bear witness of me, that he sent me. So the only way that you will be able to know is because you knew your husband. If you didn't know your husband, you would have had no idea what he was doing. That's why he said, who has believed our report? They didn't believe because they didn't know their God. How you going to please somebody you don't know? How do you love somebody you don't know? You couldn't recognize him. That's why they called him a devil. That's why they called him a blasphemer. They didn't know him. And that's why I be mentioning, like, if I'm with a woman and she don't know me, or she say something that's against my character, I find that offensive. You ought to know me. We're going to look at it because he told Philip that, this is what come to mind. If you don't know me by now, you will never, ever, ever know me. Because in that song, he was talking about giving that woman the boot. Don't you sit back and realize that the Lord sat back and looked at these people, that they didn't know him. He gave them the boot. I won't let you hear it. I won't let you see it. I won't let you understand it. You'll be vexed trying to understand the report. Lord have mercy. 1 John chapter 5. Man, this thing be more serious than what you know. I thank the Lord for the word he gave. I promise I ain't had no mind to preach this here till about 12 o'clock last night. So did. I ain't had no mind to preach on none of this here. I was going to show you how Yahshua was Solomon and David at the same time. And something came up and the Lord said, you know you're not going to preach about that, right? I said, I know it. 1 John 5 and 9. Make it 5 and 7. Make it 6. This is he that came by water and blood, even Yahshua HaMashiach. Not by water only, but by water and blood. It is the Spirit that bear witness, because the Spirit is true. For there are 3 that bear record in heaven, because my witness is in heaven and my record is on high. The Father, the Word, and the Ruach HaKodesh. And these 3 are one. And there are 3 that bear witness in earth, the Spirit and the water and the blood. These 3 agree in one. If we receive the witness of men, the witness of God is greater. Then you see, where you think John getting it from? He was standing right there when he told them people that. If you receive the witness of John, he said, I got greater witness of John. If a man told you I was the Son of God, I got something greater. God said it. Thank the Lord. For this is the witness of God, which he has testified of his Son. He that believe on the Son of God hath witness in himself. He that believed not God hath made him a liar, because he believed not the record that God gave of his Son. And this is the record that God hath given to us, eternal life, and the life is in his Son. He that hath the Son hath life. He that hath not the Son of God hath not life. These things have I written unto you that believe on the name of the Son of God, that you may know that ye have eternal life, and that you may believe on the name of the Son of God. He said, how else can you know? He said, how can you call on him whom you have not heard? Because if you ain't heard of him, that means you definitely can't know him. Interesting. 2 Peter chapter 1 about verse 19. We still holding John chapter 5 and Ezekiel chapter 11. It ought to get in your mind. It ought to be, you ought to sit back. You ought to be ready to please God. You ought to be ready to please your husband. It should delight you to see your husband happy. There's something seriously wrong with a woman that don't know her man and have no desire to make him happy. This thing bigger than just phone calls and going on a date, holding hands. That stuff don't mean nothing. Not to no man. Because that's not knowing a man. That's just intimacy. A man want a woman who knows him. A man will want a woman that know him well enough that if there was a situation come up and he wasn't there, she would know exactly what he would do without calling to ask him, because she know him. That she knew exactly what he would do. Don't you know if a man came home and she said, yeah, baby, this thing here had went down. I wasn't able to contact you, but I did this, then, right, that, there, and the other. And you'd be like, that's exactly what I would have did. And she said, I know. That's why I did it. Don't you know what type of thing that is? That make a man be like this here, boy, I'll get that woman half this earth and then some. Because that means that woman was paying attention to me. She know what I like. She know how I think. She know like this here. That stuff right there is important. Every woman on earth should do that. Every woman on earth should know her man to a T. No woman walking should know your man better than you do. If it does, shame on you. No woman walking should know your man better than you do. That's why he told you he would give these Gentiles the word to move you to jealousy. But y'all don't know. Y'all ain't ready for that. 2 Peter 1:19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that ye take heed, as a light that shine in a dark place until the day dawn and the day star rise in your hearts. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scriptures of any private interpretation, for prophecy came not in the old time by the will of man, but Kodesh men of God spake, as they were moved by the Ruach HaKodesh. So if the Father gave the word and the Spirit was in those men to bear witness, there go your two witnesses. Yahshua come through and fulfill the word. These things bear witness in heaven. Yahshua is the Son of God. My witness is in heaven. My record is on high. But when there's a disbelief in your heart, it'll be a vexation to you to understand the report. That's why he say that a natural man cannot receive the spirit, the things of the Spirit of God. They cannot know them. It vexes them. Y'all just sitting there. This idiotic nigga has been on that post just typing and typing and typing because he vexed because he don't understand the report. And he wants somebody to keep on talking to him. Somebody finna talk to your ignorant behind nigga. Talking about niggas riding penises. You was a 40-year-old man. Shameful. I pray to God this nigga ain't procreating. Some niggas don't need to procreate. The poison the whole earth supply with other ignorant, stupid niggas like yourself. Back to John chapter 5. Man, there's somebody out here dumb enough to marry anybody. It's a sinner for everybody. Yeah, sinners got, I'm going to tell you something, man. Sinners got ample supply to choose from. A Jew ain't got no ample supply to choose from. Yeah, y'all be sitting around here thinking you got a whole lot of men or women you can pick from. You lying to yourself. See, I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, you don't believe this book. I'm going to tell you something. That's why Paul said that if for getting married, it could be a distraction, it could trouble your flesh. Because some of y'all women and some of y'all men just be doing so much stupid stuff. You could say the woman could be harder in the word than her husband. Her husband so retarded and dumb, it trouble her. You know what I'm talking about? Then on the flip side, the man could be in the word and his wife so stupid and simple, it's troubling him. I can tell you no lie, last night my spirit was weird. I don't get like that too often. He's weird in my spirit. Man, spirit go to get the weird. That means he getting tired. When he getting tired, something finna happen. John 5:36. I'll tell you, because I got long patience. And I'm going to show y'all that. I got long patience. I can take a lot of stuff. I can take a lot of crap off of people. But everybody got their breaking point. He say, but I have greater witness than that of John, for the works which the Father hath given me to finish, the same works that I do bear witness of me, that the Father hath sent me. But and the Father himself which hath sent me hath borne witness of me. You neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape. You have not his word abiding in you, for whom he hath sent, him ye believe not. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. Eve didn't want to come to y'all in the garden because she made an agreement with death. I don't want to come to you. I've made a covenant with death. I made an agreement with hell. He said, don't worry about it, baby. I'm going to break it. I'm going to break it. That brings something else to mind. I'm going to break it. Ezekiel chapter 11. What you doing there, little stinkers? Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 16. Therefore thus saith Yah, although I have cast them far among the heathen, and although I scattered them among the countries, yet I will be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. What y'all think that mean by that? What you think he mean when he say he'll be a sanctuary to the places where he done sent you? Yeah, that's the Lord. I'm going to give you a place to dwell. Even in your captivity. Because he told you that he made this man a sanctuary. And a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense to the both houses. Don't you do that, Leah. Don't do that. Come here. Come here, Leah. Y'all do know that, right? He said he'd make him a sanctuary in Isaiah, right? He'd make him a house. Don't go in that stank. That's why she put it there. Oh, that's for the dog? Okay. She can go in there? Okay, go ahead, Leah. Your mommy said you can go. Go ahead. You can go in there, stankers. He gave us, look at us right now. We in the land of our captivity. We have a sanctuary. Abide in me and I in you, that you might bring forth much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. Therefore thus saith Yah, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries wherein you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. And they shall come thither, and they shall take away all the detestable things thereof, and all the abominations thereof from thence. And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you. And I will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and will give them a heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes, and keep my ordinances, and do them. And they shall be my people, and I will be their God. But as for them whose heart walk after the heart of their detestable things and their abominations, I will recompense their way upon their own heads, saith Yah. He just told you, if you want to keep walking after that covenant of death, I'm going to bust you right upside your head with that same thing. When he told you, now let's come over here and look at John chapter 3 verse 1. That man sat back and told you, I'm going to give you a new heart and a new spirit. I'm going to give you a flesh heart. After that, we're going to look at 2 Corinthians chapter 3. This man is sitting back showing you how he breaking your covenant with death. Because you made a vow with death. It started with Eve. I got to break it. John chapter 3 and 3. John 3 and 3. Yahshua answered and said unto him, Truly, truly, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus saith unto him, How can a man be born when he is old, and can enter in the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Yahshua answered, Truly, truly, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto thee, you must be born again. You're going to have to change, and then you're going to have to mature. We dealt with this once before. When I was a child, I thought as a child, I spake as a child, but when I became a man, I put childish things away. There come a period of time in this world where there has to be some sort of maturation process. I'm telling you something. If I have to tell you the same thing over and over again, you have not conquered it. Some of y'all do stuff you don't want me to see, and you know it. Some of y'all are very childish and very immature. Very immature. I'm talking about not just on a spiritual level, on a natural level. Very immature. The time has to come when you have to stop making excuses for your immaturity and just grow up. How can you ever expect to grow spiritually and become fully born and become mature and become a son of God if you still got the thought process of a child in your mind naturally? I'm telling you, I sit back and look at the stuff y'all do naturally. I know your spiritual stuff all messed up, no matter what you want to tell yourself. Because I'm looking at your natural behavior. Your natural behavior is going to give a strong evidence of your spiritual behavior. Some of you niggas hear me say stuff, don't even pay attention. I tell you this here, I was talking to my old lady about this yesterday. Nigga gonna sit down before I stop the conversation and argue me down that the first time I told you about the apparel for Purim, for Passover was on Purim when I said it the Sabbath before. And told y'all specifically I would reiterate it again on Purim. Because I don't make announcements on Wednesdays because everybody don't be present. I know everybody gonna be present on the Sabbath. It didn't make no sense for me to tell you that on Purim. That was a reminder on Purim. But it go to sometimes y'all don't be listening. Y'all don't be paying attention. Your minds be floating somewhere else. Because you probably usually think about what you finna do when the Sabbath over. Or you think, or you worrying about, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this. I sit and look at it this way. Y'all hear me? I sit back and I look at it this way. You niggas go on your jobs. You niggas will do whatever your supervisor tell you to do. Whatever they tell you to do. Anything they say, you listen to it, you don't forget it, you remember it to a T. But this your job too though. And I tell y'all stuff and y'all don't remember nothing. Y'all don't pay attention. You don't remember. Now what that say about you? So I know you do it on your job because if you do it here. I know you do it on your job. That means you slack. We done already talked about this. A man who diligent in his business stand before king. You ain't diligent in your business. There's no way in the world you're going to stand before God then. Because you're not diligent with your business. Y'all talk a good one. Talk a real good one. He just hit y'all across the head with that last week. With your mouth you show much love. He said, but your heart is far from me. Because it go after your lust. He just hit you nigga across the head with it, but y'all hear it go in one ear, go right out the other. I ain't talking about me. I don't do that. I listen. Shut up, sit down and stop lying, nigga. You don't listen. And you know you don't listen. No, you don't listen. You just have to sit back and evaluate that and let that sit in your brain. How could you sit back and say, because see, this is my business, this is my job, this is what I do. I have to listen. Like I told y'all, when that man gave me the order, I gave it to y'all. I'm talking about immediately. He didn't give me that order on no Purim, or on no Tuesday, or no Monday. That order was given on a Wednesday. I didn't present it till that Sabbath day. I wanted to make sure everybody was present. I ain't want to do it at nighttime when you nigga be half asleep, slobbing on your phone. I wanted to make sure it was in the middle of the day, bright and early, and you were good and woke. Niggas still didn't catch it. And then tell me what I said. And I know what I said and when I said it and when I got the order. All I just tell you is a prophet's not without honor, save in his own house and in his own country and against his own kin. Because y'all don't give me, some of y'all don't give me the respect that y'all. You feel like, oh, man, that nigga ain't worth it. Ain't studying that nigga. Boy, I thank God for you, though. Boy, you be getting that word, turn right back around and just call me a lie to my face, disrespect me, talk greasy when I ain't around. I ought to burn in hell for it. Because you ain't talking against me, you talking against God, stupid. Romans chapter 8. After that, Proverbs 31, and we'll deal with this point of you ought to know your God. Romans 8, verse 4. Make it 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, and they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. See, that's what I was telling y'all earlier. See, some of y'all look at it and y'all be trying to decipher something I'm doing because you thinking after the flesh. You thinking carnally. I don't think like you think. I don't mind after the things you mind after. So the stuff you be formulating in my mind trying to figure out what I'm doing, you be dead wrong every time because you thinking carnal. Boy, my days of carnal thinking are gone. And it was an arduous process of me looking at myself and dealing with myself and denying myself and being 100 and real with myself to get that mind out of there. See, I was willing to die. Something that a lot of y'all not willing to do. See, I didn't want to be in agreement with death no more. I wanted it to be broken because I wanted to live. I didn't make excuses for behavior. I ain't come up with, I've been to prison. Well, it's this, that, and the other. When I tried to pull that stunt my homeboy came with when I first got out of prison, I had been dealing with the word. I hadn't been that long, but that's neither here nor there. He was like, yeah, man, we could get the bank card and get this money. All I'm thinking about is I want to get some money to get in this HVAC so I can get this certification to get me a job. When it came up that the Lord caused them people to catch that, and I had to go fill out a police report, all this, that, and the other, when Fat Boy and Smiley had to tell me, man, don't do that there, man. When I went down like that, I ain't make no excuses. See how I said, boy, y'all, I shouldn't even when it did that. Boy, I was dead wrong for that. There was no trying to come up with an excuse. Well, it could have. No, niggas shouldn't even did that. But I was thinking carnally because I was worried about I want to get this HVAC certification so I can get this job I just got out of prison. Lord had to show me. You got to trust me, son. Stop worrying about that type of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? See, and what some of you niggas do is you be trying to watch what I'm doing and you thinking like a nigga and I don't think like no nigga and I don't move like no nigga and you end up looking like a straight up idiot. That stuff offensive to me. You got something you see right there, bring that stuff to me. If you ain't woman or man enough to bring it to me, sit your monkey butt down somewhere and shut your mouth. Ain't nothing but some gossip. That's feminine. No woman of God or no man of God got no business doing no junk like that. And I said, you got a problem with it, nigga, open your mouth then. Saying nothing to me, nigga. I don't see, I ain't scared of none of you niggas. I don't care nothing about you getting mad, stamping your teeth, gritting your teeth. That stuff don't mean nothing to me. All I'm just trying to tell you, keep on trying to figure out how I'm thinking, and you thinking carnally, and you know I don't think carnally, and you're going to make a fool out of yourself every time. And I'm going to start laughing at you in your face. See, Langston know, and Pam know, see, they going to make me start acting like Boss Hog in a minute. Well, I just be an old arrogant nigga just laughing right in your face when you do something stupid. I used to do stuff like that. Nigga do something stupid. People are taking it as being arrogant, but that's just with me though. I nigga do something stupid like that, I laugh right in their face. People like, man, this nigga here. Shoot, you the one, the dumb nigga who did it. Yeah, I'ma laugh at you in your face, nigga. I'ma clown you. See, y'all don't want that there. See, you don't want me to act like that there. Like really clown you to your face by doing something stupid. Dying laughing at you in your face. You would rather me be more compassionate or stern to try to correct it than for me to really act a fool. I already showed you in Proverbs chapter 1 when something bad happened to you and I laugh at you, I got book to back it. Because God said he would laugh at your calamity and mock when your fear comes. See, but I don't want to do that. I'm here to help you. I don't want to clown you. I'll do it though. I remember I told my old lady a long time ago, are you prepared for this right here? You can handle this? Because my wife ought to know better. All y'all should know better. But if anybody know better, my woman should know better. She should know better. That's why I don't have no problem putting her out there in front of all y'all. I had no problem with it. And it's not because it's her. It could be any woman. It don't matter. I would do the same thing. See, sometimes I think she think I'd be doing that stuff because it's her. It wouldn't matter who it was. It wouldn't matter who it was. I'd do the exact same thing. There's no respect of a person with me. I ain't going to do one thing for one person and do another with another. I'll clown them too. When she said something to me the other day with these shoes I just got, she said they were cute. I said, there ain't nothing you say to no man. My sister said it. I told her the same thing. She told me, well, you ain't go off on her like that. But when I said it to you, I was like being funny. I was serious, but I wasn't being mean about it. See, somebody who know me, they know how my humor is. They can actually know when I'm being serious and they know when I'm playing because they know the tone of voice, how I sound when I'm doing it. You can know when I'm being dead serious and I'm not playing, I'm not joking. Somebody who know me do. They know that tone. They also know the tone when I'm clowning. I know Langston though, because we done clowned together too many days in our lifetime. Niggas know that tone when I'm joking. My whole voice different. My facial expression different. When I'm dead serious, you know what I'm serious. You know what I'm serious. And my woman should know that. I ain't a hard man to read, and I'm an open book. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Most men are like that. They will open up and tell you whatever it is so you know exactly what I like and what I don't like, so you can move accordingly. God done told us from the jump street exactly what he like and what he don't like. I don't like punks. I don't like swine. I don't like liars. I don't like covetous people. I don't like people who dishonor their parents. I don't like that. I like just and upright dealings. I like obedient people. I like people who trust and believe in me. I like people who love and keep my commandments. I despise those that despise me. Therefore they shall be lightly esteemed. And you wonder why a man would lightly esteem a woman who constantly disrespect him. He say, I honor him that honor me. I love those that love me. So I'm going to tell y'all something. See, these people tell you that love is conditional. I mean unconditional. God's love is not unconditional. You can't treat the Lord any kind of way and expect that he's just going to be cool with it. But he got some long suffering. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. Because we got to get ready to roll. Because a lot of stuff we've been mentioning in book, but at the same time, we ain't been reading it. I just been preaching it to you. And if you know the word, you will hear, because he that is of God hear God's words. You hear them not because you are not of God. Plain and simple. Romans 8:5 yet again. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. But the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So when you carnal, there's no way you can have a desire to please your husband. No way. There's no way you can please God. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. So you can't please your husband when you's old carnal thinking nigga. How you gonna please him? Proverbs 31:10. Because I promised the brothers. Well, I ain't promised them. I just said, Lord, we'll look at it. Son of Jeremiah 9, which I've been meaning to show y'all this for a long time. Because it first got preached on the conference call. I remember the night when I brought it out, because that's the night that T had the flu. And I had to drive her home and she was doing bad. And I had to stop at that Family Dollar to get her some Theraflu. Nigga was in there sweating like a poached pig in that car. Just feeling bad. Thank the Lord it didn't last on her too long. But it beat her down that night. 10. Who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies? The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of sport. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. We started in Genesis chapter 3 verse 16 that your desire should be to your husband. So if your desire is to your husband to please him, his heart can rest safely with you because he know you not going to do him wrong. You not going to displease him. But if you're not seeking to please your husband, how can his heart rest safely with you? And how would Yahshua be able to rest safely with you when you don't seek to please him? How is that possible? He said, I know she'll do me good and not evil. Don't y'all know disrespecting your husband, disobeying your husband, not pleasing your husband is evil? Do y'all not know that that is evil? The only thing that could mean is you got an agreement with death because you carnally minded. Listen to what he say now. His heart safely trusts in her. Now we know that God has no need of us. We have need of him. But he knows that if we sit back and we trust in him, then he will have our heart. It will rest safely with him. We know that would nothing be taken from us. Because that was for me to plunder the take. This man say she won't do me good. She'll do me good. She won't do me evil. Now we're looking at Israel. Romans chapter 6 verse 1. If the covenant with death had been disannulled, and as Paul told us in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, I've espoused you to one husband, and I may present you as a chaste virgin, even a Hamashiach, that you don't be corrupted by the simplicity in Christ, that you don't be beguiled by the subtlety of the serpent as Eve was. Because you had more of a desire to please your husband than Eve did. Because she had a desire to please herself. That's why Paul told you in 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 6, she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she lives. While you seek to please yourself, you's a dead woman walking. You seek to please yourself, you a dead man walking. Because you're not seeking to please your husband. Which means you carnal and you can't please God. And we seen from Eve's behavior, she didn't please him. We seen from Israel's behavior, she did not please her husband. We were walking in death. This man had to come to disannul your agreement with it. All because you had no desire to please your husband. I'm sitting there telling you, man, I thank the Lord now. I ain't get the word till about midnight. Give you something to consider, though. I'm talking about everybody, male and women. Because we already established, we flesh in your flesh, bone in your bone. That's what Israel told David. That means you men, guess what? If you're going to be members of his body, that means you ain't wife. Why you ain't pleasing him then? Why you ain't serving your husband? Why you not seeking to please your husband? I told you, this ain't just about no women now. We try to get them focused to sit back and realize how they ought to treat their husband and show the framework of how us as a people ought to treat ours. There's nowhere in the world we sit here and say we God's watch when we disobedient to his word and we have no desire to do the things that's right in his eyesight. Romans 6:1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin and live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many as of us were baptized in the heart Yahshua HaMashiach were baptized in his death? Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, like as the Messiah was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we should also walk in newness of life. For we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall also be in the likeness of his resurrection, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. I will disannul your covenant with death with an overflowing scourge of water. Ruach HaKodesh. Man sat back and told you, man, I'm going to give you a new heart and a new spirit. 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Man, say I'll take that heart of stone out of you and put your heart of flesh. Y'all don't be listening, though. Lord have mercy. Thank the Lord for the word. Thank the Lord for the word. I ain't gonna say who inspired this here. I maybe later on down the line I'll tell you who inspired it. I ain't gonna. 2 Corinthians chapter 3. And verse 5. Make it 3. For as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistle of the Messiah, ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God, not in tables of stone, but in fleshly tables of the heart. And such trust we have through the Messiah to God ward. Not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of God. That's what y'all sit back and realize. My sufficiency is of God. Anything that I do, I know it's of God. Anything that I say, it's of God. I remember this here, man. I done told my old lady this before. I told other people this before. If you see me comment on something, I'm doing it for a reason. It is never for no personal thing. It's always to spark something. It could be just a means and a way. It's like, I put it to you this way. I put it the same way. I sit back and tell you that, and how I got my old lady, not for her to get with me, but to get the word. I use the guise of working out and weightlifting as a means to hit her with the word. She didn't see that coming. She didn't see that coming. You thinking I would come into you by lifting weights because I wanted to talk to you about lifting weights? I was using that as a means to hit you with this word. I can comment on somebody's stuff, man, and it's all the way down the line until the Lord see fit, something moving to come around here and say, man, I need to holler at you. And then they been and say, man, well, here go my number, you can call me. And as soon as they call, I already know what I'm finna do. I'm finna hit them with this word. But see, y'all so carnal-minded thinking, you thinking I'm doing it for something else. Now my old lady can sit here and tell you, she thought it like this, said, what I need to do, I need a workout program. I'm going to give you a workout program, all right? Ain't had nothing to do about lifting no weight. My whole purpose and rhyme and reason for saying something to you had nothing to do with lifting no weights. You thought that till you spoke to me. Then you seen what I really commented on that status for. That's why he say to be wise as serpents. Man, I know what I be doing. But when you call them, you think I'm doing something else. She can sit here and bear witness to y'all if she wants. I'll give her space to speak. She can bear witness. That's what happened. January 2014. That's just what happened. No, I mean, I gave her some working out information and tips, but that wasn't my motivation for commenting on that. I say one way or another, I'm going to swing this word around here to her. She going to hear it. Whether she take it or not, that's on her. But y'all don't know that though. You just keep on thinking I be doing stuff on here carnally minded because you's a nigga and you carnal, it's the reason why I do everything. And to be honest, it's to try to work it around to hit them with this word. Because niggas ain't going to comment on my stuff. And any of y'all who been on my page long enough, you should know, ain't nobody going to comment on my stuff. Niggas be intimidated to say anything to me anyway. Niggas I know in the flesh be intimidated to say something to me when they see me in the flesh. It just be that word, man. It be intimidating to people. Yeah. I ain't gonna say that, well, he ain't on my page. Like, you know, I seen DeMario Comedy today. I ain't know he worked at that T-Mobile over here on Maryland. Oh, DeMario. I ain't gonna put DeMario out there like that. Drop down to here about verse 9. No, man, that nigga had some stank. That nigga had a stank mouth, boy. I wish I was trying to be funny, but I ain't even being funny right now. Pale and Light know what I'm talking about. Because that nigga from our neighborhood. That nigga mouth was stank. That nigga mouth smelled like, man, nigga took a dump and didn't flush the toilet and shut the door. And you was the nigga that came in about 30 minutes later. Verse 9 of 2 Corinthians 3. For if the ministration of condemnation be glory, much more the ministration of righteousness exceed in glory. He had to sit back and tell you, I got to disannul your covenant with them. For even that which was made glorious had no glory in this respect by the reason of the glory that excelled. For that which is done away was glorious, much more that which remained is glorious. Seeing then we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech. Does that sound familiar to y'all? Write the law on some stones. Make it plain. Make it plain. The stuff we looked at tonight, he made it plain, didn't he? And not as Moses, which put a veil on his face, that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished, but their minds were blinded, for unto this day remain the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Hamashiach. But even unto this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their heart. Nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away. Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Freedom. Your covenant with death is broken. And where would that come in at? Because you would seek to please your husband. How else is your... See, if Eve would have sought to please her husband, which was God, because you're seeing that Adam and Eve is a similitude of Yahshua and Israel, because he was God, and that's his wife. Deuteronomy chapter 30, about verse 19, I'll show you the same. Man, I thank the Lord for the word. Make it 15 because you need to hear. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, death and evil. When he told them that in the garden, he set before them life and death, good and evil. And that I command thee this day to love Yah thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou may live and multiply. And Yah thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou go to possess it. But if thy heart turn away so that thou wilt not hear, but thou shalt be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I denounce unto you this day that you shall surely perish, and that you shall not prolong your days upon the land whither thou pass over Jordan to go possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against thee. Oh, man. Then we read that in 1 John, how heaven and earth bear witness that Yahshua the Son of God is a testimony against you. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I've set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. Therefore choose to obey your husband. Let your desire be to him instead of to your flesh. that thou may love Yah thy God, and that thou may obey his voice, that thou might cleave unto him, because they shall cleave unto each other and become one flesh. There's a marriage covenant again. He that is joined to the Lord is one spirit. And where the spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. That means your covenant with death is been broken. That they may cleave unto him, for he is thy life. And the length of thy days, that thou might dwell in the land which Yah sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give to them. Let's see how Yahshua your life in John chapter 11, verse 26. He said, he your life. Just cleave unto him. But you see, you can't cleave to somebody that you don't have a desire to serve. You can't cleave unto somebody you don't have a desire to please. John 11, 25. It's impossible for you to be able to do that. Y'all don't hear me though. Maybe it helps somebody out tonight. Yahshua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believe in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever live and believe in me shall never die. Believe thou this? She saith unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Messiah, the Son of God, which should come into the world. So her covenant with death was broken because she believed. Is your covenant with death broken? Have you crucified your old man with it? This man took away death with death. We just read about it the other day. Let's read it again in Romans chapter 5. It might be 1 Corinthians 15 to look for. That might be what I want. Let me see if that's what I want. It is 1 Corinthians 15. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. First Corinthians 15 and about verse 17. If the Messiah be not raised, your faith is in vain, yet ye are yet in your sins. Then they also which are fallen asleep in the Messiah are perished. If in this life only we have hope in the Messiah, we are of all men most miserable. But now is the Messiah risen from the dead and becoming the first fruits of them that slept. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive. So this man disannulled the covenant of death with death. Ain't that something? Y'all hear me? That man took away death with death. And then gave you life by raising him from the dead. Now you have to sit back and weigh that out in your heart. Jeremiah chapter 9. You have to weigh that out in your heart. Now how else would you be able to have a covenant disannulled? Jeremiah 9 and 23, unless you knew your husband. Thus saith Yah, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might, neither let the rich man glory in his riches. But let him that glory in this, that he understand and know me, that I am Yah, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith Yah. So if God had told you that he delight in loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness, why wouldn't you do it? That's what your husband say he delight in. Why wouldn't you do the things that delight your husband? Let's see how he exercised loving kindness in John chapter 3, verse 16. And after that, John chapter 15 and verse 10. And then after that, Titus chapter 2. We finna run it down. We finna get out of here. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever should believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but the world, that the world through him might be saved. He did not send you in here to condemn it, but to disannul the covenant with death that you had already made with Adam. He would have disannulled that vow that you made with death. He wanted to break that from you. Exercise in love and kindness. John chapter 15, verse 10. He got to do it. Make it 9. As the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. If you keep my commandment, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. There's no way in the world you can get love. I'm going to tell y'all women something, man. Love, for you to love a man, that's to respect and obey him. It's not a feeling. It's not a tingling. If you say you're in love with a man, that means you should be in love with every aspect of his character. And if you say you're in love with this man and you don't know him, you told a bold-faced lie. If you question things of his character and say he's doing this and he's doing that, but you say you're in love with him, that means you do not know him. There's no way in the world you could. You can't be in love with somebody you don't know. Saying you in love with somebody means you love the character of that person. And how can you love the character of a person you don't know? Someone explain it to me. Anybody willing to try? I'd like to know. I see. If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that your joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. This is the love and kindness of God. Don't you understand, son, that when a woman, see, this is when you get the love that a man will show forth to his woman. Because if she respects and obeys him to abide in his love, to do the things that he delights in, then in turn, he will be willing to do anything for that woman, even literally die for her. But see, y'all women don't understand and realize that. If you want your man to do all the things that you want him to do, how about trying to respect him, obeying him, and pleasing him, and see what this man will do? That's why I brought that up to y'all Wednesday night, about how that young woman knew me so well and did not seek to displease me, that there was nothing that I wouldn't have done for her. Because of that, didn't have nothing to do with her looks, didn't have nothing to do with no desire to have sex with her. It's because you know me well enough to know I would rather you be delighted in me and what I'm doing towards you than you to be displeased and you be upset with me. Because if you're displeased, then I haven't done my job. See, when a woman gets to that mind frame or that way of thinking, and that was amazing then, and the only way I can think is that she had to get that from some woman in her family to be 18 years old and have that thought process. Though I was 20 years old and had the thought process of, I'm riding for mine. I'll take care of my wife, any kid that she have. I'll die for her. I already had the thought process in my mind, and I wasn't taught that. So that was given to me at God by a young age, because I wasn't taught that. The day I seen little Muffin, I do right then. I die for her. I do anything for her. I'll sacrifice and give anything up. Because I was a selfish child. My mama didn't told my sister I wasn't, but I knew I was. And I told my sister that. And I told her. Well, she said, they say you wasn't. I'm saying, I'm telling you I was. And it took you to stop it. And I was only 10 years old when my sister was born. I was 3 months short of turning 11. Matter of fact, my mother's birthday in 2 days. My whole outlook on life changed the day I laid eyes on her. 10 years old. That's some strong word to be saying at 10 years old. My whole outlook on life changed when I saw her. That's when I first began to learn the true meaning of self-sacrifice. To give something up for somebody else. And I wanted to do it. Nobody had to tell me to do it. I wanted to do it. Because that was my sister. And I loved her. So when I sit back and I look at a woman, and I meet her, and begin the process of getting to know her, I begin to want to see is, how will she seek to please me? How will she treat me? How will she operate with me? And if I see that woman take the time to actually learn me and know the things that I like and do them, and know the things that I don't like and not do them, and make a conscientious effort to do these things, there's nothing in the world I wouldn't do for that woman. I'd give anything up, because why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? She riding with me. That's how men think. That's how we look at any potential woman we want to be with. That's how we think. If she know me, she learning me, she know what I like, she know what I don't like, she strays to the things that I like, she moves away from the things gravitate to the things that I like and strays away from the things that I don't like. See, y'all think you a keeper because you can toot it and boot it and cook. Or I clean the house. That's not what a man looking for. It's a little bit more than that. Like to say it's like an onion, you got to peel them layers back. What's up under them? What's up under them? Because you got to realize something, man. Y'all going to be life partners. The book say, man, it's better to dwell on a rooftop than the house with a loud and contentious woman. What type of man want to live with a woman going to fight with him? Every time you say something, she talking back. As women, if you got kids and your child talk back to you, you can't stand it, but you do it to your man. And wonder why he snapped. Lord. Titus chapter 2. So we get ready to get out of here, man. So if you know God, see, you would know love and kindness. See, you know another attribute of knowing God is long suffering. You know what long suffering is? Taking injury with patience. That means somebody do you wrong, but you take that. You don't turn around and do them wrong back. You just take that. You might let them know the wrong that they doing, but you just take that. See, if you know God, you would know that, because Yahshua did that. You know them people did him wrong. He took that. He even turned around and said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Sometimes I sit back and look at, some of y'all can't know what y'all be doing. And if you do know what you're doing, that make it even worse. Titus chapter 3. Verse 3. For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish and disobedient, deceived, serving diverse lusts and pleasures, and living in malice, envy, and hateful, and hating one another. But after the kindness and love of God our Savior toward man appeared, not by works of righteousness what we have done, but according to his mercy he has saved us, by washing of regeneration and renewing of the Ruach HaKodesh. Because remember, he said these waters would throw away your falsehood. It would get rid of them lies. And you know what Yahshua called the Ruach HaKodesh in John chapter 14? He called it the Spirit of truth. The Spirit of truth would wash away your hiding place in falsehood, and it would destroy your refuge in lies, and you would have a refuge in the house of the living God, a refuge of our God. Because the name of Yah is a strong tower, and they that run into it are safe, and no evil will touch them. Which he shed on us abundantly through Yahshua HaMashiach our Savior, that being justified by his grace, we should be heirs according to the hope of eternal life. This is a faithful saying, these things I will that thou affirm constantly, that they which have believed in God might be careful to maintain good works. These things are good and profitable unto men. If you believe in God, why don't you please your husband then? Why is your desire not to please him if you believe in him? Because if you believe in him, that means you know him. As Paul told us in Ephesians chapter 4, if you have heard and been taught of the Messiah, y'all have heard and been taught of the Messiah? Why is your desire not to your husband? Why are you not seeking to please him? The son kept saying, John chapter 6, just look at what the son say, how his desire was to please his father, and we supposed to be the same way. 6:35. You have to sit back, you have to change your mentality and the way you look at things. This carnal way of thinking gonna be the death of you. It's crazy to me that you would sit back and think that I was a man of God on the off chance. And you would think that I had the Ruach HaKodesh on the off chance. And you would think that y'all had dealings with me on the off chance. And then you think that I had a carnal way of thinking and a carnal way of behavior. That's got to be the dumbest thing in the world for you to sit there and hear the word from me right now. I think he got the spirit, but I think he carnal at the same time. What? I wouldn't sit there and listen to nobody I thought was carnal. But I still think he got the spirit, because look at the word he be bringing. He be showing us the Lord. But I think that right there doing, I think that carnal. I think he got another angle going on. You a stupid nigga. You a stupid nigga. If nobody told you, whichever one of you niggas done did it, or doing it, or thinking it, if nobody told you you was a stupid nigga, let me be the first. Because that makes absolutely no sense. That you would sit there and listen to the word from somebody you deemed as being carnal. I mean, I'm in the same boat you in. Do what you want. You've been doing it anyway. Guess it don't make no difference. Yahshua said unto them, I'm the bread of life. He that come to me shall never hunger, and he that believe on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you that ye have also seen me, and believe not. All that the Father give me shall come to me, and him that come to me I will no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. His desire was to his Father. Now the man was showing you a pattern of behavior that your desire should be to your husband, to him. How you say you love this man and your desire is not to please him? How? And if you married or you got a man and you dating and your desire ain't to please him, you can't please God and you don't love him. You sit there and tell that bold-faced lie. I look you in your face and call you a liar. I'm sick of this junk. You niggas need to tighten up and grow up and stop being children and niggas. Stop looking for somebody to hold your hand. Stop making excuses for your junk and clean your messes up. This man ain't finna come down here and do it for you. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Now what's wrong with y'all? You got 1,000,001 excuses why you still carnal. Make no sense. 2 Corinthians 5 and about verse 12. For we commend not ourselves again unto you, but that give your occasion to glory on our behalf, that you may have somewhat to answer from which glory in appearance and not in heart. That's just what you niggas is. Remember when the Lord say you appear beautiful unto men, but inwardly you full of dead men bones? He said you feel like wetted sepulchres, so the outside appear beautiful, but inside full of all manner of uncleanness and dead men bones. So even so, outwardly you appear righteous unto men, but inwardly you full of iniquity and hypocrisy. That's what too many of y'all problem is. You want people to glory and appear, and not that God's word is in your heart. The man told you he's going to give you a heart of flesh and a new heart. But you want somebody, oh, she sure live righteous, but you hate your husband. Have no desire to please him. Have no desire to serve him. But I love the Lord though. Sit your hypocrite butt down somewhere. Same thing for you men. Talking about you sitting here, you want to be his servant, you want to be a son of God. You're doing the same thing. I love the Lord though, but you don't love your husband. You don't serve him, you don't please him, you don't want to please him. Just stop lying. Just be real and say I'm carnal. That's why I can't please my husband. That's why his heart don't safely trust in me. That's why he can't give you the gifts of God. You wonder why you can't get the Ruach HaKodesh, because you don't please your husband, so his heart can't rest safely in you to give it to you. Because he know you're going to do evil. He know you're going to sin. I can't give it to you. Y'all ain't think about it like that, why you can't get the Spirit. You don't desire to please your husband. Why would he give it to you? His heart can't rest safely in you to trust you with that when the man say a steward must be found faithful. You got to be found faithful to get that gift. That's the gift of God. Why would I give it to somebody who ain't faithful, whose desire is not to me, who don't want to please me, who delight in the things that I hate? Y'all don't hear me. For we commend not ourselves again unto you, but give you occasion of glory on our behalf, that you may have somewhat to answer them which glory in appearance and not in heart. For whether we be beside ourselves, it is to God, and whether we be sober, it is for your cause. For the love of the Messiah constrained us, because we thus judge that if one died for all, then we're all dead. He says we love the Messiah, that told us back. Because we judge since he died for all of us, we dead too. Now if you love your husband, that would restrain you from doing the things that did please him and the things he found detestable. Would not. If you loved him, it would stop you. If you loved your husband, you wouldn't talk back to him. Because I know for certain, none of you niggas would talk back to the Lord the way you talk back to your husbands. None of you would do it. None of you would do it. But you do it to your husbands with impunity. So I know you don't love God. I know your desire is not to God, because you don't treat your husband like that. You do. And you think that stuff cool. And you'll come up with 1,000,001 reasons how he wrong and you the problem. You the problem. I'm telling you, the Lord the same way. Don't no man like no rebellious, stubborn, disrespectful woman. Ain't a man walking like that. Ain't a man walking. If he do, that nigga gay. Cause we ain't joking and playing tonight. This serious matter. Niggas' life's on the line. Y'all life's on the line. All of us, myself included. All our life on the line. All of us, myself included, our desire got to be to our husband. All ourselves, myself included, we got to seek to please the man. All of us, myself included, got to seek the things that this man delight in. Or else his heart can't rest safely with us, to trust us, to know that we will walk upright before him. He can't trust us with the gift that he want to give us. The man told you, if you ain't been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? How can God give you what he want to give you when he can't trust you with it? How can he give you what he want to give you when you have no desire to please him? How? You got to start asking yourself these questions. You got to start looking at, why am I so carnal? Why won't I die? What are you trying to hold on to? What is it that you're trying to keep? All it is you're trying to keep your covenant with death. That's the only thing I can come up with. If anybody else could come up with something, I sure appreciate it. I guess not. For the love of the Messiah constrain us, because we thus judge that if one died for all, then we're all dead. And he that died for all, that they which live should not henceforth live unto themselves, but unto him which died for them and rose again. So you ought to live for your husband. You ought to live for your husband. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, since I mentioned it. Is that not what he just said, gentlemen, that you ought to live for your husband? That your desire should be to your husband? I ain't talking about no natural level either right now, people. I'm not talking about you with your wife. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about a great mystery about the Messiah in the synagogue, the Messiah in the body. You ought to live toward your husband. You ought to live for your husband. He died and rose again to break the covenant of death that you made. You did it. Ain't that wild that Eve was a similitude of Israel making an agreement with death? Hiding under falsehoods, dwelling in lies, just like Israel. Our people in bad shape. This congregation in bad shape. We're in growth violation. Growth violation. Got to do better. Got to do better. There's no other excuse. It's too many of y'all that are spiritually immature. And that you have no business being, some of y'all, at the rate of immaturity that you're at for how long you've been walking in this way and how much word you done heard. Some of y'all done heard more word in the last 6 months than some of these niggas here in 5 years. I'm talking about Hebrew Israelite. I ain't even talking about no Sunday Christian. I ain't being funny. I'm dead serious. In the last 6 months, you done heard more word than some of these niggas done heard in 5 years. And we were to actually go by, and that's not even counting all the Sabbath services on Sabbath day that haven't been recorded. And we were to go by and look on these channels for the last 6 months of all the information that the Lord has given us and dispensed, you can see why I would say you have no business being as spiritually immature as you are at this point in time. And you know who you are. You know if you've been here for the last 6 months. That means what this is, March, that's taking you all the way back to September. So that's all the way back around trumpet time and tabernacles and all that there. Just that ain't even that long ago. It seemed like it was a long time ago. Wasn't even that long ago. You know how much word and information we done got since let's say just starting with trumpets? You know how much information we done heard in that time? Let's not even go. Let's just look at it this way. Let's go all the way to last New Year's. We about to hit another new year. Look at all the word the Lord done gave us from Nisan to Adar, which we in right now. You have no business being this spiritually immature. I told y'all this Tuesday night, but everybody wasn't present. And I'm going to tell y'all this again. Some of y'all, I expect more out of some of y'all by reason of how long you've been with us. So I expect more out of you. I would expect more out of Pale than I would expect out of Chantel because she ain't been around that long. I would expect more out of Barry than I would Delta because he ain't been around that long. I expect more out of Nicole than I would expect out of Kira. Doubly more for her because she my woman and you've been there longer. So when I expect more out of you, I don't take nothing off of you. And I will challenge you and I will push you and I will make you hate me only because I believe in you. If I didn't believe in you, I wouldn't challenge you, I wouldn't push you, I wouldn't be angered when your behavior is contrary. But if you do something that don't upset me, that means I don't care no more. And if I don't care no more, I know it ain't but a matter of time for the Lord to tell me, show that nigga the door and make sure they turn their playbook in before they leave. Y'all don't realize that. Because those that stayed all the way on Tuesday night, they heard me when I said that. I expect more out of some of y'all than others. Don't mean that I'm sitting there looking at that just by reason. I'm expect more out of my sister than all y'all. She been there since day one. Even when my sister Nell was here, I used to be real hard on her at times, and she was like, I appreciate that you had this much confidence in you've been with me a long time. Of course I'm going to expect more than you. I'm going to expect more out of Glover than I would expect out of Denzel. He been with me longer. Glover pretty much was there when we started at the townhouse. Only people that was there longer than Glover was Nell and Lil Muffin. It's a couple other brothers, Lord will he bring them back round, that they were there when it started. Even Pell to a certain degree was there when it started. So I'm going to look at you and I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to look at you different. I'm going to look at you should know better. You should know better. Any no Pell, some stuff done went down, and I done told him, that's not acceptable for you to do that. I ain't cut no corners on him. Y'all ain't going to know that because that admonition didn't happen in the open. See, some of y'all look at admonition coming because I might put y'all on blast in front of everybody. It be some of y'all get admonished, you just don't hear about it. You just don't see it. They can tell you, yeah, that nigga ain't spare me at all. You know what I'm talking about? But once you know what happens, you know the old saying, when you assume, you know what happened. Now, he just said love and kindness, right? What was the other one, right? Righteousness and judgment, right? He said these are things that I delight in. We know from John 7:24, I'm finna get ready to let y'all go. I'm going to just do a little bit of preaching. We know from John chapter 7 by verse 24, he said, don't judge according to appearance, judge righteous judgment, right? You just heard the man say in Isaiah 28, he going to lay judgment to the line and a plummet of righteousness. We know that righteousness is the faith of God, to believe God, to trust God, to obey God, to love God, to fear God, because you have a hope in his word, because without faith it's impossible to please him, because you must be a believer that God is, and he's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. If you diligently seeking him, that means you seeking to please him. You're seeking the things that he delights in. Right or wrong? He say judgment. He wants you to judge righteously. Judge according to the word. Judge according to the Kodesh standard. Yahshua did that every time he moved. He judged things according to the word. When the people said something to him about healing that man with the withered hand, he said, should I not heal that man? Or when they said something to him about eating with Zacchaeus, he's a sinner. He said, is he not the son of Abraham? Or when they said something to him about the women healing them on the Sabbath, he said, this woman been bound by Satan for 18 years by this reason of blood. You not going to have compassion on her? He said, if a man got 100 sheep and one stray, you don't think he going to leave the 99 to go get that one? He said, this man is a friend of sinners. He said, I didn't claim to call the righteous to repentance. I came to call sinners. Those that are whole don't need a physician, but those that are sick. Righteous judgment. He sat back and told them men, you disannul God's commandment with your tradition. Your judgment is off. Your balance is off. I want y'all to look at Deuteronomy 13 and 18. Come on over here. I ain't finished preaching quite yet. Now this man say this is what he delight in. Righteous judgment. Knowing how to discern things not by that they appear, but according to his word. The faith of God, which is righteousness. That even though you can't see it happening, you know it's going to happen. Just like the sister Mouth, and pray the Lord. We pray the Lord allow her to make it here safely. She on the road. Lord will, she should be here. In about an hour or so, if the Lord see faithful to be merciful to her to make it here safely, we pray to God that his mercy be with her. She was like she feeling down. She feeling down because you know you leaving everything that you know. And that's a reasonable thought process. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm leaving my mama, my grandmama, my family, everywhere I've been, every place I know, everything I know, and I'm journeying to a place that I ain't never been before, just like Abraham. See, that's that righteousness of faith, because this is what he delighted in, because I put it in your heart to do something, and even though you don't see the end result of what it's going to be, you would have to believe that all things work out to the good of those who are called according to God's purpose. You would have to believe that, which means you would have to trust in me, which means your desire to please me was greater than your desire to be comfortable. But don't sit back and look at, well, I came because he put it in my heart, that's sufficient, because then you still got to continue on. You still got to continue on. Indeed it is, and it's understandable. It's understandable. But you got to sit back and look at, if you're doing it for the Lord, it's to get you to a point where you can be made perfect. All of us are walking a road to perfection. I'm sitting here to tell you, I can't sit here and tell y'all that I hadn't transgressed against this man, or my conscience was void of offense toward this man the entire time this man sent me to do this work. This man had to sit back and show me, son, that's wrong what you're doing. Son, that's wrong what you're doing, because I got to be made perfect. That's why he say the word of God, 2 Timothy 3:16, before we even look at Deuteronomy 13 and 18. I'm ready to let y'all go though. Y'all all right though? 2 Timothy 3:16. All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good work. So I sit back and see, when this man would hit me across the head with this word, it was something I'd be doing that I shouldn't have been doing, or a way I was going I shouldn't have been going. This man come back with the word and he hit me with it and say, son, don't go that way. I can't make you perfect like that. See, a lot of the stuff y'all dealing with, man, I done been there. I know what you're going through. But the problem is y'all trying to fight to stay alive rather than to die. That's the problem. You too busy trying to stay alive when you ought to just die. I'm telling you. If you go ahead and get out your own way, because you're your own worst enemy. You your own worst enemy. If you can get out your own way, you'll be all right. You know, I was able to get out my own way because, thank the Lord, I wasn't never really a big hindrance to myself. I wasn't a big hindrance to myself when I caught myself going out the way. I was telling the brother about this morning. I'll never forget it long as I live. Come on over here to Deuteronomy 13:18. When I first started hustling, the woman I was dealing with at the time did not particularly care for me to do it. She was not pleased with it. She would state it from time to time, but she didn't go over the top with voicing her displeasure with it. Make it verse 13. She didn't go over the top, Deuteronomy 13:13. She didn't go over the top voicing her displeasure with it. But one day, we were talking, and she looked at me and she said, "You are changing." I say, no. I say my mentality changed a little bit. I say I'm a little more money orientated. She looked at me and said, "I know." The look on her face troubled me, because it was a look of, you're being corrupted. This is not you. This is not the man and person that I know. When it's somebody, and it just don't, because that was the only time that ever happened to me, that somebody that I knew made this statement. Because it would have been no different if my sister said it, or one of my homeboys said it, or a family member said it. When somebody that knows you and loves you and care about you look at you and feel like you being corrupted, that stuff will make you look at yourself in a real different way. It still stick with me to this day. Because it's sitting back looking at somebody I see that something is taking you down. When I see that certain stuff is taking you down and you being corrupted by this flesh and it could kill you, why you think I say something? Because I know how that feels to have somebody who actually had a care for me. See, you actually got to have a care for somebody to tell them something like that. When somebody telling you, that's not you. I know you doing this here, but that's not you. I know you. That's not you. I know you got to eat. I know you got to make money. I know you got people to take care. I know you got to do this here. But you going down a road that's not you. I never at that time looked at it as like what I was doing could have corrupted me. She made me evaluate myself that as I continue hustling, that I would not allow that lifestyle and that environment to corrupt me and change me from who I fundamentally was. I appreciated her for that. See, sometimes you can get caught up in stuff and moving with stuff, and it can fundamentally change who you are. This is the only thing in life that you should move to that will fundamentally change who you are. And when I say fundamentally change who you are, I mean your thought process, your way of thinking, your actions, your doings, all of that. That's what it should change. See, when you get involved with selling drugs, that stuff can change you if you're not careful. I seen that lifestyle take some of the most humblest men and make them cold-blooded killers. Not because they were killers, because they had to be and what they were involved with. And some of the stuff y'all invest y'all energy into, people, places, and things, it can mess around and corrupt you and turn you and change you from who you're supposed to be. You got to be careful on that. That I'm talking about after, and I was like 20, maybe 21. After she made that statement, that made me so aware of everything that I was doing. To make sure that I didn't fundamentally change my core principles as a man. See, I ain't never been one. I know when somebody telling me something, they sit back. That's why it's important for you to know somebody, because you can catch that. When you actually don't know somebody, you can't catch that. See, because some of y'all I've been around more and I know you. I can catch this stuff. That's why I tell you. I can see it now. Better do something about it. I tell you because I love you. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't say nothing. I'd just let that nigga crash and burn. And some of y'all done had friends in your life that knew you were going the wrong way, knew you were doing something crazy, ain't say nothing. Let you crash and burn. But nevertheless, because we finna get out of here. Certain men, the children of Belial, gone out from among you and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go serve other gods, which ye have not known. Then shalt thou inquire and make search and ask diligently, and behold, if it be truth, the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, all that is therein, cattle thereof, with the edge of the sword. Thou shalt gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof. Thou shalt burn it with fire. Burn with fire the city and all the spoils thereof, every whit, for Yahweh thy God. And it shall be a heap forever. It shall not be built again. Now you sit back and you look what he's telling you. All of us. We already sat back and read in Titus chapter 3, right? About how all of us were once served our lusts and did evil things, but when the loving kindness of God appeared, it cleansed us. Ain't that what we did look at? Now we turn around and he look at it and he say, if certain sinners come out and they have you worshiping other God, take that city and burn it up. Don't build it again. That's why Paul said, how can we who are dead to sin walk any longer therein? That's why he told you in Galatians chapter 2, if I build again, Galatians chapter 2, I thank the Lord. 2:16. One of these days I might master how to set this book in order. Maybe give somebody some understanding that they may consider their life and get saved. I guess today ain't that day. Galatians 2:17. But if while we seek to be justified by the Messiah, we ourselves also are found sinners, is therefore the Messiah the minister of sin? God forbid. For if I build again the things which I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. Now, go back to Deuteronomy 13. If these people rebuild this stuff again, wouldn't they be a sinner when God told them to destroy it and not rebuild it? Huh? So now we sit back and look at that. If we sit back and we want to be made new in the likeness and image of him that created us, why are we rebuilding the things that we're supposed to be destroying? or that we claim have been destroyed. Verse 17, and there shall cleave not of the cursed thing to thy hand, that Yah may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show thee mercy, and have compassion, and multiply thee, as he has sworn unto thy father. So if the cursed thing won't cleave to you, the cursed thing is death. Because now Yahshua has turned away the fear. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Oh man. Y'all thought it was over. It ain't over. Can't put the Lord on no time clock. It's over when he says it's over. First Thessalonians 5 and 8. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet the hope of salvation. For God hath not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahshua HaMashiach, who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. Wherefore, comfort yourselves together, and edify one another, even as you also do. Hold on, I want y'all to hear this too. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you, and are over you in the Lord, and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves. Now this man just told you that you ought to know them which labor among you, and are over you in the Lord, and correct you, that you ought to give them respect, very much so, in love, because of the work that being done. Why y'all can't do that? Because that's what the book say you ought to do. But y'all don't do that. My old woman will esteem me one day and disrespect me and 20 minutes later. See, sometimes when I tell her that she do it, she don't think that she doing it. But you have to sit back and remember, I ain't with the rallies. So things that y'all might think are minute are not minute to me. Things that y'all might think are not disrespectful is repugnant to me. And I'm going to let that be known right then. Because I'm going to take off. My lady should know I take off on her every time. I told y'all I don't let kids slide. So I'm not going to let my woman slide with inappropriate behavior. Now this man just sat back and said that the cursed thing, if you destroy the things and don't rebuild them, that cursed thing wouldn't cleave to you. We've already read in Romans 6, all the stuff we looked at, now everything coming back around full circle, that if you got the desire to your husband to please him, that the curse won't be on you. He said that he can have mercy and compassion on you. We know the mercy and compassion of God appeared when he sent forth our Savior. 2 Timothy. Make sure that's what I want. That's 1 Timothy. Make sure it's 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy. Make sure 2 Timothy what I want. It might be 1 Timothy. Y'all bear with me. We'll get out of here in a minute. Lord trying to show you something. Lord trying to show you something. 1 Timothy chapter 1. Verse 15. 14. And the grace of our Lord was exceeding abundant with faith and love, which is in the Messiah Yahshua. This is a faithful saying and worthy of all exception, that the Messiah Yahshua came into the world to save sinners, of whom I am chief. Howbeit for this cause I obtained mercy, that in me first Yahshua HaMashiach might show forth all long suffering, for a pattern to them which shall hereafter believe on him the life everlasting. That long suffering again, because Paul did much evil and damage to the Lord, and the Lord had patience with him and suffered his wrongdoing, that he could sit back and show that same pattern of love. Some of y'all, I show that same long suffering, how you disrespect me and try me and do all type of stuff, whether you do it openly or whether you do it in secret. And I suffer you because I love you, to show you that same pattern that the Lord showed to me when I was injurious to him, even though I didn't know it. And I be showing y'all that same example, but you niggas don't do it. Now unto the King eternally, immortal, invisible, the only wise God, be honor and glory forever and ever. Amen. See, when the power of our God appeared and the salvation and the mercy and compassion unto man were made manifest. Come on to 2 Timothy chapter 1 one more time. And by verse 9. It would sit back and it would turn us from our behavior and our ways and our doings. Who have saved us and called us with the Kodesh calling, not according to our works, but according to his own purpose and grace, which was given us in Messiah Yahshua before the world began, but now is made manifest by the appearing of our Savior, Yahshua HaMashiach, who have abolished death, I disannulled your covenant, and have brought life and immortality to light through the gospel. Because since he abolished death and that cursed thing couldn't cleave to you, that he might have mercy and compassion on you, now couldn't it? Which goes back to that love and kindness in which he delights. Which goes back to that righteousness in which he delights. Which goes back to that judgment in which he delights. And he said, he that glorieth, let him glory in the Lord. That's why he told you, don't glory in your riches. That's why you sitting back and look at, don't glory in, oh, my wife, she's so fine. My husband, he's so fine. Glory in the fact you got a good man, you got a good woman. Glory in that. Don't glory in the superficial. Superficial path. Come back to Deuteronomy 13. I'm going to tell you something real. Sometimes people sit back and they look at it. What you looking on the outward, they desire it on the inward. I'm telling you, man, somebody with a great personality, people want that stuff, man. Somebody see somebody and they entail the things that they want in a man or a woman. They don't care what they look like. They just want that. And sometimes people can have what other men and women want in a spouse and don't really appreciate what they got. But like the saying goes, you appreciate it when it goes. Verse 17 one more time. But there shall cleave not of the cursed thing to thine hand, that Yah may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show thee mercy and have compassion upon thee, and multiply thee as he sworn unto thy fathers. When thou shalt hearken to the voice of Yah thy God, to keep all his commandments which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yah thy God. When y'all gonna learn to do that which is right before your God? Matthew 5 and 17. When y'all gonna learn to do what's right before your God? When your desire gonna be to your husband to please him? When you gonna do that? When you gonna do that? Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. For truly I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law to all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Praise ye Yah for Yahshua HaMashiach. Thank God for the word. Y'all understood all this stuff this evening?